All right, thanks again, everyone, for joining us for day two of OSU Talk event, where the theme this event is all about overcoming obstacles. So, joining us for the next talk is Liability, who will be discussing self-limiting beliefs and how I think a lot of people impose them upon themselves, and that can really limit and create obstacles for themselves and their improvement. So, Liability, I will leave you to your talk, and thank you everyone for being here.
All right. I hope everyone's doing well. One of the biggest obstacles to overcome, in my opinion, since this is about overcoming obstacles, is your mindset, your mental state, and doubting yourself specifically. At least for me, I've always had issues with doubting myself, and a lot of top players too. And I figured, if a lot of the top players doubt themselves, why would I feel like most of the OSU player base is affected by this. So we've seen things like imposter syndrome affect top players. And basically, if you don't know what it is, imposter syndrome is basically where you feel you don't deserve to be where you're at and that it'd be better off like going to somebody else. And this has affected players like Fire Age and BTMC from time to time. And especially we see it on Twitter. Um, but in doubting yourself affects and imposter syndrome is basically a type of doubt that you can have in yourself, and it affects almost every OSU player at some point. I feel like me especially, and a lot of top players, a lot of four digits and three digits who want to become a top player. They doubt themselves, like, "Oh, can I really do this? Can I really get to this level? I don't think I can." And it's not that's not the answer that you should have for yourself, that, "Oh, I can't do this. There's no way," because it's just not true. You can get to the level you want if you put your mind to it. You will eventually become a top player, get to the level that you want to be if you put your mind to it and you work hard and stuff like that, and you know, read information that other top players are offering, like Digital Hypno offers a lot of information. That's the first example that comes to mind since he's obviously here hosting this event. He gives a lot of information, and we're honestly spoiled as OSU players to be able to get this information so easily. And positive affirmation is the most important thing when doubting yourself. Positive affirmation is basically where you just like tell yourself that I got this, I can do it. And even if it's a faking, like you don't actually believe that you can do it, just saying the words I can do it, it improves your mindset a lot. Even if it's kind of a fake it till you make it sort of thing sometimes, because sometimes you don't believe that you can do it. But if you just say I can do it, I got this, if I practice, I can get here, then your mind will just be tricked basically into believing it, and it's very useful. One thing that's helped me a lot is meditation. I this is, and I know some people might hear that and think it's kind of try hard, but honestly, it's not. I feel like in general, not just for OSU, but in general, meditating is very good. I'm not a spiritual person, but meditating is like it can be perceived as spiritual, but it's really not. It's like calming, basically. If you're having trouble, meditating in the morning can lead you with a happy and positive state of mind. And I remember watching Bubble Man's OSU tournament interview, and he touched on meditation and said that he does it before matches and and big OSU sessions. He said it makes him calmer. And I tried it out because of this. It actually inspired me to try it out a little bit because I was like, man, Bubbleman is one of my favorite tournament players. And if he gets his calm, because I know Bubbleman never gets nervous. And if he gets this calmness from meditating, then I think I should try it out because I used to have problems with nerves. And it works actually. I don't really get nervous before tournament matches. I feel happier when I'm playing Osu. I don't doubt myself as much. It's very, very good, and I feel like it improves my mental state quite a bit. Um, and I'm gonna tell my story how I got here and the mental struggles that I had along the way because everyone has it. When you're grinding to the top, you're always gonna encounter that sort of doubting yourself and the negative thoughts. And I used to be a four digit, back when I just got four digit, I got it with like a 400 PP play and on Hikari or something. And I was never really worried anything about this time, so I'm gonna fast forward to about like 3K, 2K. I started playing tournaments around this time, and playing tournaments and losing because I was a new tournament player. It really got to me for some reason. I mean, when you first start playing tournaments, you should always expect to lose a lot because you're not gonna be like that used to it. But it affected me a lot, and it kind of made me quit a little bit. It made me quit for a little bit, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't good, and eventually eventually I started positively affirming myself because I was actually having a lot of trouble at this time with my mental state outside of OC2. And so I tried things out, and I tried these methods out, and it worked for me, and I started to slowly improve my mental state and improve the doubting myself. I talk about imposter syndrome and stuff like that. Sus. I'm gonna stop. And it was very good because then I started skyrocketing again. I went from like 1K to rank 500. So I gained like 500 ranks into 3 digit in like 2 weeks. It was very fast. It was probably the fastest rank gain I've ever seen ever, period. Um, and it was pretty cool. I was happy about it. I was very happy. And this actually improved my mental state. But once again, when I started playing tournaments again around this time, I started to encounter that doubting myself again. And this comes to what I was going to talk about, how this doesn't just happen one time with OSU players when they start doubting themselves. It happens multiple times throughout an OSU career. Like people like Fire Age and BTMC, they probably doubted themselves once around 4 digit, probably did it once when they were 3 digit, and now that they're 2 digit, they've probably done it a few times. And it's completely normal. And knowing how to get past this is the best thing you can do for your OC career, I feel like, because it's mind over matter, really. If you don't have a good mental state, then your improvement will be hindered so much because your OC sessions might be shorter. They might be they might be less effective for your improvement. And also, when I got to around 500, which is probably, we're in the timeline aspect, we're probably talking about like a month or two ago when I got 500. I actually started to do this again. I started to do the doubting, so this is pretty recent. And this is where I picked up the meditation. The meditation is great. I started doing it and I started feeling so much better about myself. I started like going into I once again, this sounds like spiritual, whatever, but I started going into sort of a Zen state when I got into OSU and stuff like that. OSU sessions, I started to be like kind of Zen in a way because I would just be so like just relaxed and calm and focused on the matter at hand, which is improving. Um, and it worked really well. And here we are now. I'm about to rank 400. I'm not really focusing on rank. I'm focusing more on tournaments, and I've improved so much at tournaments because I've been positively affirming myself, and I feel great. I feel great mentally. I'm so motivated, and I feel like stuff like meditation, and mainly, and you don't have meditation isn't the only way to do it. But I feel like positively affirming yourself is enough. If you positively affirm yourself, you can get almost anywhere, really. I mean, it is mind over matter. That is like one of my biggest things to say because it is so important to just think positive things. It will literally trick your brain into being the most positive thing, and it's very positive for improving. That's the biggest thing. Um, and yeah, I'm improving a lot in my mental, and eventually I will start downing myself again. It's a natural cycle and it happens. But the most important thing is to be able to recognize when it's happening and to stop it almost as fast as possible. So if you start to think that, oh, I'm kind of doubting myself a little bit, immediately like attack it. Like start positively affirming yourself every day, maybe meditate, maybe there's other methods too, but I didn't really read into it that much. Because meditation and positive affirmation works for me, so I didn't really research that much about it. um and there's a bunch of methods you can do that will help you. So yeah. And so to recap, and basically what I'm getting at is that if you are struggling with your mental state and it is affecting your gameplay and your improvement, you are not alone at all. And with certain methods like the one and with certain method sorry, I was reading a question in chat. With certain methods like the one I discussed, you can get through it and come out of it better than ever. And when I said better than ever, I mean it because what happened with me was I would start doubting myself, and I would kind of stagnate in the ranks, and my improvement would kind of like be like, I guess I should say, like, just not going anywhere. And the second I started improving my mental state, I started skyrocketing in my improvement. It's like it's not a coincidence. You can do it basically. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about.